107 entries in it, which makes for a very hefty.
All for transit?
All for transit. Taken off because of the fact that they were already covered on previous icebergs. So if you're watching the whole series from the first one to now, there's not going to be 2 of the same entry coming up. The only reason.
How is the largest iceberg for Call of Duty Zombies on transit? Please, somebody give me the information.
What's going on, y'all? Larry Nips here, coming at you live with a different kind of video today. I want to transition a little bit from
my perk system lovers.
Oh God, Lex, you're yelling at me. Lex, you're yelling at me so much right now. I'm gonna pause Lex real quick. Watching some zombies content as well. So we're just kind of focused maybe on a little bit of Buffalo Bills AFC East content. I've been watching a lot of like YouTubers, smaller YouTubers react, like, you know, like smaller sports channels, give their takes on the AFC East and what the AFC East is going to be like this year. And I want to give my take. I want to actually average all of their takes together and see what the average person, average commentator thinks about the AFC East. So we're just going to watch. I was hoping to watch 10 different videos. 10 different videos, AFC East predictions, and we'll tally them all up, and we'll average every game, and we'll see what happens. We'll see where the AFC East stands, because I think the AFC East right now is the most, you know, confusing division in the league, the most difficult division in the league, the most up-in-the-air division in the league. A lot of these divisions, we kind of know where to place teams. I just don't know what to make of the Dolphins or the Jets or the Patriots. I don't know. Or the Bills. This is why I'm making this video. And that's why we're here. I'm just going to check the quality real quick, make sure we're all good. I don't know. Or the Bills. This is why I'm making this video. And that's why we're here. Hey, actually, audio sounds pretty good. We're going to get some feedback on that last couple seconds there. But without further ado, let's look up our first AFC East prediction table. Let's do it. Let's get ready. AFC East predictions 2023. What does each team have to do for a successful blank? 20,000 views 6 days ago. God, the NFL Network sucks. NFL Network sucks. Sorry, NFL Network. 2023 record predictions, AFC East projections, and teams. 14 minutes. The Goat House.
The Goat House is back. Today in this video, I'm going through my AFC East record predictions for the 2023 season.
All right, Goat House.
Subscribers
Let's do it.
on Twitter will be getting the best and worst case predictions as well for each of these teams. So if you want to support us, help us grow even further.
Let's do it, baby.
Content while you're at
I'm ready.
Not only follow us on Twitter, but subscribe to get that bonus content, including the best and worst case record.
Oh, he's got bonus content too? Dang.
All the NFL teams.
Gotta get that bonus content out there. My bonus content is my OnlyFans. If you want to subscribe to my OnlyFans, you can look at my feet and my butt. It's on my OnlyFans. Just check it out on my OnlyFans, LarryNips.com. OnlyFans/LarryNips. You can check out my nips.
Any link you're looking for, Twitter, sponsors, Liquid IV, GLD.
God, I love his microphone. I love his microphone.
So check it out. So
yep.
AFC East. Next will be the NFC East. But again, if you want
the Buffalo Bills 12-5,
to see my range, I try to tighten it up a little bit. Subscribe to us on Twitter.
Bills 12-5.
Buffalo Bills 2023 record prediction
12-5. That's a respectable.
Because I do think the schedule's pretty tough. Like there's scenarios where I saw. There's definitely scenarios where I saw less than 12 wins. That's where the realistic worst case scenario comes into play. But you know, definitely could see less because it's a tough schedule.
Sorry about that, guys.
You know, it seems like
tough schedule.
Teams, you know, at the end of the year, end of last year, kind of started their game plan a little better for the Buffalo Bills as well.
Does he just talk about it?
Very interesting there. That could help. But just a very good team in general. And the draft pick of Dalton Kincaid kind of tells you there might get some different looks.
All right, Goat House, I understand.
Looks on both sides. We talked about it.
All right, he's got the Bills going 12-5. No way if I just peeped what he just said, too.
As tough as the Buffalo Bills, I guess that's probably obvious.
He's got the Jets going 12-5.
and the Jets could be tricky as well because Aaron Rodgers already shaken up a little bit, so he's up
Aaron
there
Rodgers
in
is a little
age.
shaky
Wasn't
guy.
as great last year, but still pretty.
Aaron
good.
Rodgers. This is the stat that everybody's
Jets
throwing
still
around
better
right now. Is
roster than
Aaron
the
Rodgers
Packers
did
did
not
last
throw
year,
for
but
300
there's
yards
a
last year.
scenario where it's like, is he beat up? Do they struggle because of that? Is he not the same as what he used to be? So
Or his receivers
they will
trash.
get much less than 12 wins. If that is the case.
Wow. All right, I'll watch it. I'll watch it for a little bit.
Yeah, it's a really good team on paper. So my prediction for the New York Jets is 12-5. Really excited to see how they look this year. I guess the question will be playoffs.
12-5 for the Jets.
Aaron Rodgers, his past teams couldn't really get over the hump. I know the Jets team is really, really good. Some of those Packers teams are really good. The AFC is absolutely stacked. So this is a team where we're pretty confident as long as they're healthy, really good in the regular season. They should be a threat in the playoffs, but that's kind of the big question with them. How much different regular season playoffs will the New York Jets be? So I'm going to go 12-5. So same as the Buffalo Bills. The Jets' schedule is a little easier. I think you worry about health a little bit more with the Jets, maybe perhaps. I guess it's something new. Aaron Rodgers, Jets team, so it's a tough game plan. I think the Bills could be a little more creative, a little more unique. The Bills have had a better defense probably than the Jets in the regular season. The Jets probably could pass them in that category.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said I'm leaving.
Okay.
I'm going to go 11-6.
I love you too.
Looking through this team, looking through the schedule, the defense is ridiculous.
Oh, I'd like that.
The defense
I leave for work at 8:30, so if you're up for around then. All right. Yeah. Heard that. I know. But you know what? But if you come over like around 9, I can come over for like a quick 15.
At the end of
that's
last
nice.
year.
If not, I'll stop by in the evening. I will see you. I'm here till Saturday.
Insist
All right,
on passing the football, obviously,
I love
sometimes
you.
even
Love
when
you
the run's
too.
working. So
Bye.
can he mix it up a little bit? Can he, go away from? It feels like he kind of has a plan. Everyone has a plan before the game, and he kind of sticks to that no matter what. So no like situational adjustments. That's kind of
Dolphins 11-6.
Even though he's a good coach, he's a smart coach. That was kind of the issue. If I want to get specific here, so that's something I'm watching for this year. So not only Tua staying healthy, but
it's interesting what
that
people
as
are
well
saying. Like
was a very talented
he's
team.
more
This defensive
concerned
line,
about
if you got
Tua
that
staying
good of a
healthy
defense, I think at the end of
than
this-
Aaron
end of the
Rodgers
day,
bouncing
this
back.
could
I
be
mean, I
the
guess
very
it's
best
fair.
defense in
Say it
football.
out loud. Yeah, I guess it's
think
fair.
it could be that we just want to talk about the Jets. It could be the Jets as well, but the Dolphins is ridiculous. Adding Vic Fangio is huge, but adding Jalen Ramsey, the safeties they got, led by Javon Holland, they have opposite of Jalen Ramsey, they have Xavier Howard, who's a big-time playmaking corner, could be even more of a playmaker in terms of getting interceptions, getting his hands on the ball because he has Jalen Ramsey on the other side. Ridiculous pass rush duo in Phillips and Chubb. Christian Wilkins up front. Baker, linebacker, they had David Long Jr., who had a ridiculous year last year. It's a ridiculous group. Emmanuel Ogbah, I forgot the name. It's a really good group. So I have 11 wins. I think there's going to be games where maybe the offense lets them down, or maybe Tua's injured. You hate to say things like that, but at the same time, it's like this defense is going to, by themselves, is going to win games. Like the defense
They do have a really good
alone,
defense.
There's going to be multiple, maybe
11-6. You got the
defense
Jets going
alone.
12-5. Think about this as a division right now. You have 3 teams over 10.
You factor that in as well.
3 teams.
I think we can see a really good
11 and over.
And then maybe the game plan a little bit easier for teams. And then how's the health of the other Dolphins there? How's the offensive line? So maybe they drop some there, down the stretch. This feels like.
Yeah, I like that. All right, let's go to the Patriots. And the Patriots just got 8-9. And out of disrespect for the Patriots, we won't listen to one take.
Sense. It's not an experiment.
I'm just kidding.
Going into last year, it was a disaster the whole year, but they were kind of trying to change things up big time. And they kind of went back to what they know at the end of the year, but that's still with defensive guy calling the offense. So,
everyone mentions that, the defensive guy calling the offense.
Not an experiment going into this year. So factor in that. Factor in Mac Jones should play much, much, much better.
Everyone specializes. Everyone specializes.
Paper, especially defensively. Factor in that they were actually contending for the playoffs, making the playoffs last year with that kind of disaster, and they should be better this year. You factor all those things I just said in, it's like they are a better team than 8-9. Like they actually are. They're better. Like they almost feel like, for everything I just said, they almost feel like a 10-win team to me. And that's, I guess, the difference is a difference between evaluating a team and then you have to factor in their schedule, and not really who you play, but who you play, like when, where, what part of the schedule, what part of the season. You factor in those things. So I actually think they are a better team than what that record I have is 8-9. I actually think that. But the schedule is very tough. The layout of the schedule, which is more important. People kind of just look at opponents, but the layout of the schedule is pretty tough. I worry about the start. And then could they?
I also worry about their start.
Confidence or make them worry and switch quarterbacks or anything. I don't think
that's how they always get though. They always start kind of like, what are we? What are we doing?
On both sides of the ball. I guess you do worry about tackle play. If you worry about something and starting a little poorly, is a possibility. If they start good, if the Patriots go in with that tough early start, anything can happen at the beginning of the year. But
all right, I like this as a start, as a base. Now we have something to compare to, but I also don't like that he didn't go over every game. So Goat House, thank you. You know, I really appreciate that. I like the format of that a lot. You were just talking about where you think these teams going. Oh, this thumbnail is fire too. Like, what are the Bills going to be? Where are the Bills at? The fact that you have the Jets and the Bills at the same record is insane-o in my brain-o. Now, let's keep going. We got Tej, T-E-E-J, 35 views 8 hours ago. He's going to have more views on this video. He has more views on that video than I'll have on this video.
What's up, going on YouTube? It's Tej, back again with another video. And today we're going to start a new series, and I'm going to give my regular season record predictions for all 32 teams. We'll do it division by division, and today we talk about the AFC East. So, as you're going to see, we're already into playoff predictors.
Yes, we
Great
are.
website. Highly encourage all you guys to use it. And if you want to send me your record predictions for the 2023-2024
How long is this video? 25?
season, I'd love to check them out. I've already filled in all games played for all 4 teams. You're not going to have to watch me do this live. I figured it makes this a little bit easier and a little bit more streamlined. But yeah, we're going to talk about all 4 teams in the AFC East. Then we'll do the NFC East. And then we'll continue along in the process. But hopefully you guys enjoy. Hit the like button if you do. Subscribe if you want to see more of this series, more football content in general. And of course, shout out to our sponsor, BetUS, if you want to look out for their sign-up specials. All that information.
Shout out for our sponsor, BetUS.
Description. But let's go ahead and start with the Buffalo Bills, 12-5. And a little spoiler alert, I do have them winning the AFC East, but it is by a very narrow margin. So
Dolphins and he's got the Bills winning the AFC East. Dang.
Don't come for my neck too much. But you know, you can also see I got them at the 3-3 division mark. I basically have them splitting every
the division
matchup. So a win and a loss to the Pats, the Jets, the Dolphins alike. And something I am taking into account with all these records, and specifically with the NFC East, I felt bad. I felt like maybe there's a team or two I shortchanged a couple of wins to, but I am taking Sharp Analytics and their strength of schedule metric into account here, and it's probably the best analytic to use to grade this far around strength of schedule. It is based off their projected wins, so it's a little subjective versus objective, but
versus winning 4-5 versus losing 7-1, conference 8-4, division 3-3, record 12-5.
Hardest schedule. Or actually, they have the third hardest schedule in the division, which is crazy. But they have the 29th, quote-unquote, easiest schedule, which in turn is the 4th hardest schedule, and to finish off the list. The Dolphins then have the 3rd hardest. The Patriots have the hardest schedule, and then the Jets have the 7th hardest schedule. Now, of course,
the AFC East is crazy.
These 4 teams play each other, so much throughout the course of the season. Like, the Bills have to deal with those other 3 teams for a matter of 6 of their 17 games. So that's obviously inflating the strength of schedule a lot, but even their non-division games are really tough. But let's go ahead and with all that down, let's talk about the Bills' schedule. Like I said, I have them splitting their division games with the Jets, Dolphins, and the Pats. So got a loss to start the year against the Jets.
Oh, he's got us losing the first game. That's crazy. This is what I wanted to get into. Okay, he's got losing the first game. So we got L Jets. Crazy. W Raiders. Wow. W Commies. I agree. Then he's got the Dolphins beating us first in Buffalo. This is a crazy setup already. The Finns.
Swinging. Strong start to the year. I could totally see it happening.
And then he's got us winning the Jaguars game.
Commanders. Sorry, those 2 teams just aren't as good as the Buffalo Bills. And I know the Bills aren't,
wow.
worried about replacing Tremaine Edmonds, but it's a linebacker. We've seen teams be able to work around that. I think the secondary actually gets a little bit better this year. Really, the biggest question mark I have for the squad is, outside of Stephon Diggs, who's stepping up? Who can be that number 2 weapon? Is it Dalton Kincaid, who can play a little slot wide receiver, can play some inline tight end? Is that why you drafted him in the first round? Because he was
that is why we drafted Dalton Kincaid. It is difficult, though, because what are we going to do with him?
In a different role? Are you asking Gabe Davis to expand his game for more than being a vertical wide receiver? these are the questions that I want to see having the answer to it, because it's just got to be more than Stephon Diggs, because we already saw down the stretch, and the frustration that Diggs showed in the playoff game. I mean, that was a team that had one guy who can win reliably and no one else, and I think this offense needs more than that. Josh Allen's a freak, but there's only so much him and Diggs can do by themselves. But anyways, just want to talk about the team all in all before we get moving on. Again, split with the Dolphins. That Jags game week 5 is a little interesting because, Trevor Lawrence, you just don't know what you're going to get into. Plus, it's an overseas game. So, when doing this, there's some individual games that I think were, they're going to irritate some fan base. Be like, the Bills aren't losing this team, or the Dolphins ain't losing that one, or whatever. I would encourage you.
He's got the
pace.
We're going to go 0-3. He's got us going 0-3 to start in the AFC East. This is great. This is a wild take, bro. New York.
Individual games themselves, you could definitely flip.
And then
the NFL so unpredictable.
Pats.
That, there's probably gonna be a weird game the Bills lose. That I don't.
Okay, so right now we've lost 1, 2, 3 of our 5 games right now.
Especially considering it is a European game, and Trevor Lawrence, if he picks up where he left off last year, we could have an absolute shootout between two of the best and up-and-coming young quarterbacks in the league, and Josh Allen, who I already think is among the best quarterbacks in the league. So that could definitely be one.
That's so crazy. We got Tampa Bay.
I got the Bills beating the Giants. I just think they're a better football team. Sorry, Giants fans.
Got the Bengals beating us, which I can understand.
You say, the Bills they're gonna sweep the Pats because they have more offensive firepower, assuming they do have a second wide receiver step up. And I wouldn't hate that argument. They're better than the Bucs right now, just based off quarterback position alone. I don't mind the Buccaneers roster as a whole, and maybe I'll do a power ranking, all teams' rosters without the quarterback position into account. I think that could be a fun video. The Bucs would actually be probably higher than most teams or most people would expect, but still think the Bills are slightly better, especially when you do take into account the quarterback position. I think the Bengals are honestly just a better team, and I think Joe Burrow is just ever so slightly playing a little bit better than Josh Allen right now. Maybe the 2023-24 seasons where that changes, but right now I'll take Burrow just by a hair, and I'll take the Bengals by a hair over the Bills, and it certainly helps that they are at home. I like them more than I like the Broncos. No disrespect, good defense, but question marks about Russell Wilson and how those wide receivers are going to come into play. And I just still think the Bills have one of the best rosters in football. And again, split with the Jets. I have them losing to Philadelphia, and this is the kind of the part of the schedule. It's like, hey, if you're a Bills fan, don't get mad at me because I have you losing in Philadelphia. Because 12-5 to me is the most important part to come out of this. And you could easily, sell me in a world where the Bills lose to Philadelphia, go to their bye week, and beat Kansas City. And that's what I have playing out here. You could also sell me in a world where it's the complete opposite. They beat the Eagles, they go into their bye week, have a tough matchup with Kansas City, lose an Arrowhead. Again, it's very
tough.
Fluid.
Yeah, no, it's definitely tough.
Games. Again, 12-5 is the most important thing. Two more games to talk about. Got them beating Dallas. This is week 15. This is about when we start to see things, wheels come off for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm taking that into account a little bit. I just still think the Bills are a little bit better of a team. Got them over the Chargers too. This is another one where it's like just like the Jags game. You could easily sell me on this flipping back the other way for the Chargers. Because Justin Herbert could be playing some great.
All right.
Too early.
Okay, let's just start right here. He's got the Bills. He's got us losing the first 3 games in the division. So we lose to the Jets, we lose to the Dolphins, we lose to the Pats. Every other game, Raiders, Commies, Jags, Tampa Bay is a W until we face the real competition when we get to the Bengals, which is an L. Then we got the Broncos, Jets, dub, Eagles, L, and then we finish out the season 5-0. Last 5 games go 5 straight. Interesting. It's interesting. No, it's really interesting. I think it's got a lot of that first half of the season is tough, man. That first half of the season is tough. Like, honestly, I'd rather lose to the NFC teams. I'd rather lose to the Commanders and Tampa Bay. I'd rather lose to the Commanders and Tampa Bay and beat the Jets week 1 and beat the Dolphins as well. And then is the Pats home game later in the season?
Like we saw with Jameson Williams.
Yeah, the Pats home game is later in the season. All right, we lose to the Pats. We've only lost to the Patriots one time.
Not a bad way to go into the postseason for the Buffalo Bills, and I will.
All right. We just got to move on. We got to move on to the Jets.
So we already talked about that Bills game.
That's just crazy.
Dallas that week 2.
All right, so he does have. Okay, let's go to the Jets. The Jets, he's got 11-6. And let's see what we got going on. He's got the Bills losing, so Jets, so W against the Bills. He's got Dallas. this is what's so crazy to me. Is he's got Dallas beating the Jets, but he's got the Jets beating the Bills. But he's got Bills beating Dallas. All right, I'm not going to get crazy about it. Then he's got an L. The Jets take an L to the Pats. So the Pats going into the year are 2-0 in the division. Then they're going to take the L from the Chiefs. So the Jets' beginning of their season is tough.
About what they did with the Chargers
then they're going to take the dub from the Broncos.
We'll talk about the Cowboys in the NFC video later this week. But
dub from the Broncos.
New England Patriots. So now I'm questioning.
Yeah, question.
Defense.
God, look at this. Okay, then so he beats the Broncos W, and then they face the Eagles. Takes the L from the Eagles. Okay, so they've gotten 4 L's of their 6-L season right now. Chiefs, yeah. You know that those first few games for the Jets are crazy though. Bills, Dallas, Patriots, Chiefs, Broncos, Eagles. Broncos, whatever. I mean, we'll see if Russell Wilson has a year, but like, yo, that's crazy. All right. And then they're gonna face New York, and they're gonna win.
You know, Denver's always markets totally just kind of better across.
Then they got the Chargers. They're gonna take the L from the Chargers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then they're gonna win against the Raiders. All right. Then they're gonna lose to the Bills later in the season, and then here's the stretch. Let's look at the stretch right now.
It's looking like he did, you know.
That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. I think you got this wrong.
As long as they stay healthy.
I think you got this wrong.
I just think the Jets.
We gotta back it up.
They are doing a little bit of editing here on
Dallas.
the I'm gonna go ahead and
no, he's got a dub against the Patriots up front. Okay, my bad. We're going back down. We're going back. Okay, we're going back.
Wild card seed who?
Okay.
Dolphins, they're better than the Falcons.
Then they're going to go W against Finns. They're going to go W. Finns, Falcons, Texans. And then they're going to take the L against the Finns. They're going to beat the Commies, and they're going to beat the Browns.
They're better than the Texans. They're just those teams. The Jets are just a better squad as long as they stay healthy.
Oh, God. I'm just not sure what to make of the Jets as well. Let's see. He's got them beating the Bills. See, this is the crazy part, is that the Bills aren't going to lose that first week. I just don't see it. I do not see it. Unless the Jets defense has the best game that they've had. Unbelievable. Bills, Jets. W. So he's got them losing to Dallas, which I respect. Beating the Patriots. I love that. Losing to the Chiefs. Winning against the Broncos. You know what, dude? I got a hot take. I'm going to put a hot takes folder up here. The Jets are going to lose to the Broncos in week 5. The Jets are going to lose to the Broncos in week 5. I'm calling it right now. Then they got the Eagles. They're going to take the L. Then they got New York. They're going to take the L. He says they're going to win. Then they got the Chargers. They're going to take the L. Then they got the Raiders. They should win that game. Then they got the Bills. They should. I mean, that's going to be a contested game, but a close game. But it's in Buffalo, so we're going to have to take it from them. Then they got the Finns, the Falcons, the Texans. The Finns are going to give them a run for their money, bro, if Tua's still healthy. Texans, Finns, Commies, Browns. Ooh, I like it. I do disagree with a lot of it, though. Okay, let's see what he's got for the Miami.
Huge, just based on how I'm kind of looking at these, schedules way too early in advance.
12-5. He's got the Finnies 12-5. The Finns. Okay, so he's got. I mean, listen. this is the second person that we've watched that's had the Bills and another team both go 12-5 in the AFC, and a third team go 11-6.
So that could be a couple of huge games.
So we're starting to see the trends that we were looking for. So we got, whoo. L against the Chargers. W against the Pats. W against the Broncos. W against the Bills.
Teams there for Buffalo, but because of that, the Dolphins ultimately. And Buffalo.
W against the Bills, man, that's crazy. Whoo. W against New York. W against the Panthers. L against the Eagles. W against the Pats. Okay. Wow. L against the Chiefs. So, out of the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games of the Finns are going to be at the top of the division, yo. Beating both the Pats and the Bills. And they don't face the Finns till later, right? They don't face the Finns till later, yeah. Or the Eagles, or the Jets, I mean. So they're going to take the L against the Chiefs.
Much more attainable to beat the Raiders. Split with the Jets.
Win against the Raiders. They're going to lose to the Jets. Win against the Commies. They're going to beat the Titans. They're going to beat the Jets again. No, they're going to beat the Jets for the first time.
They're better than Washington again.
They're going to
beat
beat
those wide receivers
Dallas.
Versus Sam Howell and the question mark that he might be. Burks, it's Nick Westbrook-Akina, it's Kyle Phillips.
Wow. They're going to beat Dallas. They're going to win against the Ravens.
Versus.
And they're going to take the L to the Bills.
My mind here, like, I'll do a final version of this video where we go over each team's record one last time in the division standings.
Wow.
This might be the game I flip because Dallas is one of those teams in the NFC side where it's like I feel like I need to give them one more win. And Miami, it's like I honestly, if you were to ask me right now, I think the Bills won the division. So the fact that right now, because of a tiebreaker division record, is giving Miami the nod over Dallas, it's making me kind of think. And maybe
I feel this one. I definitely feel you on that one.
Let's just do it live.
It's a crazy win-loss for the Finns. They're going to lose to the Chargers, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Jets,
we're not going to talk about them.
And the Bills. That's who they're going to lose to.
Video, but they're a legit
where
team,
the
man.
Bills are going to lose to the Jets, the Dolphins, the Pats, the Bengals, and the Eagles.
That actually I think could go toe to toe with Waddle and Chase, and it'll kind of come down to health ultimately, especially with someone like a Stephon Gilmore or some of the older guys on the roster, Tank Lawrence rather.
I like where we're going with this video.
But they also have an explosive offense, and I just think I think these are two teams that are relatively even. I think the Dolphins might be slightly better. But again, you're not going to go 17-0. I wanted to give the Cowboys another win. I think this is a game they could win if they play to their 100%, right? Like, I think this is a Dallas team that smoked the Vikings, won an absolute shootout game with the Philadelphia Eagles. When Dallas is playing at 100%, they're among the best teams in the NFL. They'll need to bring their A game with Miami, but sometimes it takes that, that stiff competition for you to rise to that level of competition, and I think that could be the case here Week 16. That single game took way too long to get through, and we have the Dolphins beating the Ravens. There's another one you could flip. But this will come down to if Lamar Jackson's healthy, what that passing attack looks like.
All right, let's see what's up with these Pats now.
Hopkins stuff, I know that's still in effect.
Okay, all right. Now this is the first Pats record I've seen that is below 8-9, 9-8. I haven't even a 7 yet. So we got the Pats going 6-11. Tej, at first I wasn't. Your judgment was driving me a little. Those Bills L's. But let's see where this goes.
That hasn't, been.
God, they faced the Eagles. I haven't even looked at the Pat schedule.
But that could change.
L against the Eagles.
But I could totally see where at the end of this year we're like, hey, I feel better about Mac Jones, but they just still need to put more around him. And also
L against the Finns.
And strength of schedule. To
L against the Jets.
8-9 in the matter of not being swept by Miami and not being swept by the Jets. As long as
against
they take
Dallas.
One of those two matchups from both those
God.
teams, they go from 6-11
W
to 8-9.
against
so
the
if you're
Saints.
a Patriots fan ready to tear my head off, think about that, and then it's like
W against the Raiders, And then I think he's got W against the Bills right now. W against the Saints.
By the Dolphins.
W against the Raiders. W against Bills. L against the Finns. Yeah, L against the Finns. L against the Commies. Ooh. Oh no, W against the Commies. My bad. L against the Finns, W against the Commies, Dub against the Colts. God.
Beating Washington.
W against New York. I don't see them
Maybe
beating
the Giants have a slightly better defense, but yeah, I think this is a game coming off the bye. Bill Belichick kind of works his magic. Got a really
L
good
against the
record off
Chargers.
bye, so I'll go with Bill Belichick on the road there.
L
Chargers to me are just better. Pittsburgh, New England, another game that could kind of go either way.
L against Pittsburgh.
Thursday night,
L against
I tend
KC.
to lean toward teams that are at home. This is
L against the Broncos.
Travel by any stretch.
L against the Broncos. L against the Broncos. The Broncos are at home.
Pittsburgh's pass rush against kind of again an average offensive
W
line
against the
in
Bills.
New England. I think there's a little bit more excitement about the wide receiver
L
position, a
against the
little
Bills.
bit more big playability out of the Pittsburgh wide receivers. Chiefs are just better. Sorry, Broncos to me probably just a little bit better.
L against the Jets.
We're gonna get out of
My
Wilson,
God, that was a
have no idea what
crazy
that's
way to
gonna
go
look
about.
like, but,
Let's just back up. Let's just back up because I want to hear a little bit more. I want to hear a little bit more about his
Dallas offense is super lethargic. Wouldn't shock me whatsoever. Bill
This
Belichick has
was
couple
a
games year
wild
where he just
ride,
makes
Tej,
whoever
and I
they're
really
playing
respect that you
look
dropped
like they've
this-
never done, any sort of
this
offensive
win-loss
thinking
for all of
whatsoever,
them.
or any sort of game planning. And maybe that's this game. But
I
just
can't
really
tell
like
which
that
one is more
Cowboys
crazy.
defense. The pass rush is legit.
The
and I think
Finns
Patriots offensive line
running
is like, okay, run
at a
middle,
12 and
solid,
5
average,
pace
but that could be a game where
at the
Dallas
beginning of the
Cowboys pass
season,
rush in and of itself
only
wins that game.
losing
So
to
you
the
can sit there and
Chargers, the
any
Eagles, the
way
Chiefs,
this
the
game
Jets, and the
breaks out.
Bills.
Other than beat the Saints,
The Bills in the division go 3-3. The Finns go 1, 2, 3,
but all things considered,
4
I
and
hate where
2.
those two sides are, and you could easily tell me one way or
The
another.
Jets
this
go
game could
1,
flip from one side to
2,
the other. All right, then we're on to this
3.
Raiders game, the battle of the Josh McDaniels, Bill Belichick rivalry, I guess you could call it. If it is a rivalry, I don't know. But it's in Vegas, so again, this is another one where it's like, hey, Devontae Adams could certainly go crazy, totally. But I'm not gonna have the Patriots go 0-17. And all in all,
3. Sorry, let's get down here a little bit. Let's get down here a little bit so I can see where the Jets game ends up.
Probably one of the first teams.
Week 18. Browns, and then it's actually Jets are going to win against the Pats towards the end. So the Bills are going to go 3-3, but the Finns and the Jets are going to go 4-2. And then the Pats are going to go 1. Jeez. Fucking Christ. Finns, Jets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the Pats are going to go 5-1. So division, we got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Pats. We got the Bills going 3-3, 4-2 for the Dolphins, 4-2 for the Jets, and the Pats going 5-1. Wow. What a you dude, it's bold. It's honestly bold, and I like your style. I would tweak a few things. Dude, I love the Pats one. God. I love the Pats one, except the Pats aren't beating the Bills twice this year. So they're just not. That's a game that I just don't see happening. I don't see the Jets versus the Bills being an L for the Bills at the beginning of the season. That's a tough one. I could see the Bills losing to, honestly, Dallas. I can see us losing to Dallas. I can see us running. I could see us maybe beating the Eagles, guys. I know that the Eagles are going to beat everybody. But, it's just, I don't see us going 3-3 in the division. This is our division. It's our division. Maybe the Commies. I would rather lose to an NFC team, like I say. I would rather, but do I see it? Yeah, I do actually see us losing to a team that's really bad. And because that happens very often. Maybe Tampa Bay. Like I said, maybe the Commies. Not the Jets, though. For the Jets schedule, I see them taking the L to Dallas. I see them beating the Patriots early. Actually, if it's at Pats, I'm not sure. Nah, Pats is at the end of the season. You know, but I really want them to pull a game out of their butt. Like, I do understand beating New York, maybe beating the Chargers. I like the fact that we face their division this year, instead of just having to face KC like a random time. I like it. You know, I really do. I think we did pretty good with this first one. You know, Tej, I like your picks, man. I like your picks. It's an interesting. You got an interesting power play going on of picks. Dallas is weird, man. Dallas is weird. Ooh, the Finns face the Ravens this year just randomly, too. I like it. I like it a lot. I feel like they have, like, a lot of struggle between those two teams. Oh, Penguins just dropped a video, too. So then we got first letters.
All rise. All rise.
I'm rising, dog.
For the Honorable Tim G. Jacob, as he presides.
Intelligent Gangsters Entertainment.
On the most entertaining sports show in the
Put it on something.
Put it on something.
Dude, look at these microphones these cats got.
One. Yeah.
Put it on something.
Hot with you right now. Okay. Yeah, those are Patriot fans that come to mind. Yeah.
Let's see what they got. Oh, they're just gonna talk it out.
Be great. There's some games that I watched Buffalo play last year that luck allowed them to win.
Luck.
They were very fortunate.
Yeah, like what?
I don't know if the same fortune is gonna be afforded to them this year.
Was it the Vikings game?
At 2, I got mine.
You interesting cat, dog. You're an interesting cat. Alone in the world, little cat dog.
What's going on, NFL fans? Welcome back to Touchdown.
What's going on, bro? Let's see what he's got going.
Truth be told, this is by far the least talented roster in the division. They don't have many standout groups besides their edge rushers with Matt Judon and Josh Uche. Their receiving room is poor, and they're relying on Mac Jones for another season to get them into the playoffs. Without their fantastic coaching, their record would be much lower than it was, and Belichick is always going to find a way to make this team competitive. And I think most of the Patriots games will be very close, but there just is not enough talent on this team today to put them in Super Bowl contention. Last season, they were able to fight week in and week out in order to just miss out on the playoffs in Week 18. We think that their defense will be fantastic with the addition of our number 2 corner in the draft at pick number 17, Christian Gonzalez. He's going to help blanket receivers while their D-line gets to the quarterback. However, their passing attack is looking like one of the worst in football. Ramondre Stevenson is a fantastic running back, and in order for them to reach the playoffs or go further in this division, I think that Stevenson would have to have an all-pro type season, or Mac Jones would have to take a massive step. The Dolphins are getting to be a complete football team. When Tua was healthy last season, they had a fantastic offense with one of the best passing attacks in football and the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. It is so hard to rank this team because we think they are incredible, but the health of Tua is in question, and it is hard to predict what will happen with his head injuries. They made some huge improvements to their defense this offseason with the addition of Jalen Ramsey and South Carolina cornerback Cam Smith in the second round. This will help their secondary, as it became apparent last season Xavier Howard was losing a step. Xavier Howard can still be a good player, but they should do their best to keep him in zone coverage rather than man against the top
Diggs, oh my god.
Jalen is no longer easily the best corner in football, but he is top 5 and fantastic, and Cam Smith has the potential to be really good and follow in the footsteps of past USC cornerback first-rounder J.C. Horn.
Cool.
Another very underrated move this offseason was their signing of David Long, a linebacker who will help in both coverage and the run game, and they signed him to a 2-year deal with only $6.5 million guaranteed. His health has been an issue, but if he stays on the field, he is
David
a
Long.
huge upgrade to their weak linebacker core. Their D-line has some great talent with Jalen Phillips and Christian Wilkins, and this is going to be one of the most fun teams to watch this season. They have a huge opportunity, and if Tua is able to play all 17 games, they could easily finish first in the division and make a run at the Lombardi Trophy. The New York Jets. All we heard last season is that they were a quarterback away, And it seemed true, with their defense being 4th best overall, with the 4th least points and the 4th least yards against. What is even more impressive about that is that the Jets' offense was constantly punting or turning the ball over, which kept their defense on the field for longer than many other of the top defenses in the league. The story of the offseason for the Jets was Aaron Rodgers, and they got him. The man who won back-to-back MVPs just a year and a half ago is coming into this season healthy, with the Offensive Rookie of the Year Garrett Wilson, a possible Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate in Breece Hall at running back, hopefully a healthy offensive line, and his offensive coordinator he won those MVPs with in Green Bay, Nathaniel Hackett. This division is so close in talent, it is hard to predict, and in all honesty, all of them could finish 1-1 against each other. With Aaron Rodgers coming in, the Jets will compete
oh, that's their 2021 record. 2022 record. I was going to say 7-10 for the Jets, dude. That's insane.
Weapons in G-Dub 17, Breece, Allen Lazard, McCole Hardman, and Tyler Conklin. The offensive play calling has to be good from Hackett, and the Jets have to keep the offense on the field to allow their defense to dominate the way they have, with the addition of Will McDonald in the first round to add to their edge rush. The Jets undoubtedly have the best cornerback trio in football, with Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, and Michael Carter in the slot, who is one of the most underrated players in football and graded out as the 18th best corner by Pro Football Focus. The Jets are going to be a fun and interesting team to watch this season, and if Aaron Rodgers returns to his 2021 form, they could also make a run at the Lombardi Trophy. While the Bills have not made the offseason improvements we expected them to after another disappointing playoff performance, we cannot undermine their dominance of this division since Tom Brady left the Patriots. A big addition they just recently made was edge rusher Leonard Floyd, which will be a bolster to their pass rush, and hopefully Greg Rousseau begins to dominate this year for the Bills. Their defense is getting older now, and this seems like it could be their last year with the core of Trey White, Jordan Poyer, and Micah Hyde. And now that Trey Edmonds is on the Bears, they have a weak linebacking core outside of their star Matt Milano. In the first round, they drafted the tight end 1, Dalton Kincaid, who will most likely play a lot out of the slot and be a great possession receiver for the Bills, similar to what they had when they had Cole Beasley. The Bills have had a boring offseason compared to the Dolphins and Jets, but they still have the possibility of signing DeAndre Hopkins, and it is still hard to move them back from first place despite the lack of offseason moves. And they still have the opportunity to make a deep playoff run this year with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs leading the charge. Overall, this is certainly one of the most difficult.
I agree. Tough division. Tough division. That was fun. Hey, look at, there's me right there. Live streaming it up. All right,
I'm confident
let's watch
all
one.
of you know this, but YouTube actually allows some very interesting content under